guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. In tonight's video, we are going to talk about Disney World's new Skip the Line pass system. Used to be known as Genie Plus, now to be known as Lightning Lane Multipass, but we are going to get into it in this video. This is a full-on how to do explanation, maybe some tricks going forward type of video, but we have a lot to cover, so we're just going to hop to it, right? So if you're interested in skipping the line at Disney World, follow along, okay? First thing, this starts July 24th. That is July 24th, 2024, depending on when you're watching this video. So essentially for us, next month. And I do have to say, this is Disney World only. I will touch on Disneyland for a second at the end of the video, but I'm talking about Disney World. So if you're going before July 24th, so here within the next month, you're gonna wanna check out my Genie Plus video, my newest Genie Plus 2024 explanation video, because that's gonna help you. This video is for people going July 24th and onward, yeah, at Disney World? Okay, so as you may have heard, or as we were promised, right? We were told Genie Plus was gonna change in 2024. Well, it finally is, like 6 months later. I don't know why it didn't change earlier, but it's changing now, and yes, it's the only way to skip the line. And yes, you do have to pay for it, but we are gonna get into it. So if you wanna skip the line at Disney World, let's keep on going, right? First, we gotta talk about it. Fast passes. If you are still talking or using the word fast passes, they are gone. Fast passes was replaced by Genie Plus. Starting July 24th, here in a month, Genie Plus is gone. The new system you need to know about is called Lightning Lane Multipass, absolutely. And it is a combination of both the previous systems. So for those of you who are like, oh my God, I loved fast passes, bring back fast passes. Well, they kind of did. They kind of incorporated fast passes and Genie Plus, merged them together into a Lightning Lane Multipass. But let's get familiar with some of the new names, right? First, thank you, Disney. All the previous names were so confusing because they didn't really like go with each other. I am liking the new names. Even though they are a mouthful, they make sense, right? So, Lightning Lane Multipass is Genie Plus, essentially. Genie Plus, Fast Passes combined. It's the way you're gonna skip the line for multiple rides, right? Hence the word Multipass. Then there's a Lightning Lane Single Pass. Well, this is essentially individual Lightning Lane, if you know what I'm talking about. Basically, it's the way you're gonna skip the line for a single pass or a single ride. Now, this system hasn't really changed with the exception of, well, they changed the name. So going forward, Lightning Lane Multipass, Lightning Lane Single Pass. It kind of makes sense because it's either you're getting multiple passes for rides or you're getting a single pass for rides, right? Either way, whether or not you have fast passes, Genie Plus, Multipass, Single Pass, it doesn't matter. We're all using the same physical line, and that is Lightning Lane. So if you have any sort of skip the line return time pass in whatever system, we always go through the physical line called the Lightning Lane. Now, I like this because it all makes sense. Before, it was too many different names and it was hard to remember. We all want to use the Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane is the line we go to skip the main line, right? To skip the standby line. Well, we have two ways to do that. We purchase the Lightning Lane Multipass or we purchase the Lightning Lane Single Pass. Either way, we're going through that same line, Lightning Lane. So I'm liking the lingo here. It's a mouthful, but it makes sense, right? So like I said, going forward, July 24th, the new system is what I'm just gonna call Multipass because Lightning Lane Multipass is a lot of words. So when I say Multipass, I am talking about Lightning Lane Multipass, AKA the new Genie Plus. All right. So what's new? What is so new about this system, right? Well, first thing, we can now pre-purchase. I will get into it and explain further. And we can pre-select our rides. Yes, absolutely. So for those of you who loved fast passes because you were like, I could figure out what I was doing and kind of having a game plan about my day in advance, well, we're getting that. We're getting that absolutely. And just like fast passes, once we used one of our passes, we can get another one. And another one, again, I will explain. But it's really not that easy because there are different rules and perks associated with this new multi-pass system, right? So the next question is, well, Nina, what is it? Well, if you are unfamiliar with the previous systems, this is how you're gonna skip the line for multiple, hence multi-pass, multiple rides. This is how you skip the line for most of the rides at each park. And this new system is going to allow you to pre-select 3 rides that you will already know the ride time, the name of the ride, so you can already skip the line for those 3 rides at those parks. This is for, like I said, the majority of the rides at every park. Now, if you want to skip the line for the top most popular 1 or 2 rides, you're going to want to purchase the single pass, Lightning Lane single pass. I will pop up images because rides that you get with multi-pass and rides that you would get with single pass are different. So it just depends on which ride that you want. You can purchase one system, you can purchase both systems. They work kind of independently of each other. So really just depends on what ride you want. You want to ride Tron, you want to purchase the single pass. You want to ride Jungle Cruise, you would purchase the multi-pass, because it just depends on what ride goes under what type of pass. Hopefully you're with me, but basically the majority of rides is multi-pass, 1 ride, single pass, yeah? The next question is, okay, rules. You mentioned rules. Yes, there's rules. Let's get into it. First of all guests under a reservation, so you're a family of 4, all of you need to select the exact same 3 rides with the exact same 3 times. All 4 of you have to select the exact same rides and the exact same ride times. However, you can modify and cancel as needed, which means if you're a family of 4 and 2 of you want to do this and 2 of you want to do this, when you initially get the pass, all 4 of you have to do the exact same thing. Once you're done with the system, go back through and modify so that 2 of you are doing something else and maybe the other 2 are doing the original thing. So basically you just have to start off making everyone matchy-matchy. Once you're done with the system, go back through and modify. Now, this is the big kicker here. For those of you who are like, I loved fast passes, bring those back. I want those back. Did you really remember what fast passes were like? Did you? Other than the fact they were free, there was something that really annoyed me about fast passes, and guess what? It came back. So now the passes are on a tiered system. You can call them tiers or you can call them groups. But essentially all the rides for the multi-passes are divided into 2 groups. Tier 1, Tier 2. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this if you know anything about fast passes? So those 3 rides that you pre-select at Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios, you only get 1 ride from Tier 1. The other 2 rides can come from Tier 2. So yeah, you know what that means? Magic Kingdom, you know what's in Tier 1? Big Thunder, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan, Space Mountain, Tiana's. You can only pick 1 of those. For me, I love most of those rides. Like, I'm gonna wanna pick all of them. No, you can only pick 1 of those rides. That's Tier 1. And then also at Magic Kingdom, the majority of the rest of the rides for Tier 2, there are no meet and greets with characters. There's no parade spot pass or anything like that. They're all rides. Now this, of course, is subject to change. I'm sure as the system unveils, Disney will adjust and add more passes to the system. But this is the kicker here. Tier 1, you got to pick 1 of these. Tier 2, then you can go with Pirates, Small World, Haunted Mansion, the rest of the rides. And it's like this for all the parks, right? So Epcot, Tier 1, Frozen, Remy, or Soarin'. You got to pick 1 of those. Hollywood Studios, Mick and Min's Runaway Railway, Millennium Falcon, Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog. You got to pick 1 of those, and then of course 2 from the rest of the group. Now, Animal Kingdom, they don't have any tiers. Animal Kingdom, you just pick 3. So you can get Dinosaur, Expedition Everest, and Kilimanjaro safaris all with your Multipass as your original selection. So basically what I'm saying is you don't just get 3 of whatever rides you want in your pre-selection. You do have to go with the tiered system or the group system. And yes, that will be difficult, but I have an idea or a plan to make this benefit us. So stay tuned because I talk about it at the end of the video. Also, the nice thing about this new system is you get to select your time. So Genie Plus, it was the first available, yeah, not anymore. So when you go into the system in advance, right, you get to pre-purchase, pre-select. You get to pre-select your ride and your ride time. Absolutely. No more like scrolling and waiting for the best time that you want. You get to pre-select your time, which means, folks, you're gonna need a game plan. You're gonna wanna know what your day is gonna look like. Do you have dining reservations? What time are those dining reservations? Where are those dining reservations located? You're now gonna have to kind of look at your plan your day at a glance and figure out which ride at what time makes sense. That's if you don't wanna be what I like to call the human ping pong ball and you're going all over the park. I like to kind of go with the flow of the map, right? I have several videos on that, but yes, you get to pre-select 3 rides, 1 from tier 1, 2 from tier 2, and you get to select your times that work best for you. And the nice part here is that when you do pre-purchase and pre-select your rides, you get to do them for your entire stay, right? Your entire trip. So that one morning, that one day, you get to do all your week's worth, up to 14 days worth of your trip at one time. So you literally just go in the app and you go through, okay, Monday I want this, Tuesday I want this, Wednesday I want this, and you purchase and select rides and you just keep going and going until you're done with your trip, right? So it's very nice. You get to do everything for your trip on that one day. And yes, this works with hoppers. We will talk about it. So if you are hopping or have a hopper ticket, this does work with hoppers. Now, of course, the next question is, okay, Nina, I get to skip the line, I have to prepay, I have to pre-select. Okay, change name. How do I purchase? Yes, okay, so you're gonna purchase in the app. Right now, Disney is saying app. They're not saying app and website, they're saying app. So I'm thinking it's app only, and it's nothing you can pre-add to your package. This is something you do independent of your vacation package. So if you're staying at Disney and you have a package with a Disney resort and tickets and the dining plan and memory maker and all those things, you can't add Multipass to that. This is something you do separate on your own in the app. Now, I did mention there's a perk with this new system, and that is for Disney resort guests. Finally, I'm sorry for those of you who don't stay on property, but for those of us that do, I like having a perk. FastPass has always had a perk for resort guests, and I'm sorry to say I'm glad that it's back, okay? Disney resort guests, you get to do this 7 days before your trip, before the start date, right? So if you're going December 1st, it's 7 days before December 1st. You get to go into the system, pre-purchase, pre-select rides for your entire trip. Yes, Disney resort guests. Now this is gonna happen at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, AKA Mickey time. And of course, that's just like right now, you would start getting your passes at 7 a.m. right now anyway. And yes, up to 14 days worth. And you can select days, like maybe you don't want to purchase it for Monday, but you want to purchase it for Tuesday and Thursday. You get to select and mix and match which days you want to purchase it for, which days you don't, and select your passes accordingly. Now, that was the perk. Disney resort guests, 7 days in advance. The rest of us, yeah, off-property people, locals, 3 days in advance. And as always, early bird gets the worm. So those of you who can do it 7 days in advance, you're gonna have the most options per your rides and your ride times. Those of you who have to wait to 3 days, you're probably gonna have less. And those of you who wait till the day of because you just purchased your tickets that day and you're going to Magic Kingdom, you're gonna have to wait even more, which means you're gonna have even a reduced availability. Key here is availability, and early bird gets the worm. So that is the perk here, is to stay on property if you can. Now, of course, the next question here is cost. Yes, cost will be date-based park-based, popularity-based, all the things like it is now. However, Disney is saying, yep, we're not going to release prices until July 24th. So nobody knows the cost. Nobody. But I can tell you right now, my gut tells me it's going to be about the same price or more. So roughly $20 to $35 plus per person per park day. As usual, I'm assuming Animal Kingdom's going to be cheaper because it always is. Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios are usually on the higher price point. But yes, as of right now, Disney has not released any price. So if anyone tells you the price, they don't know. Disney's saying July 24th. Now, with all these systems and changes, there are, of course, issues and concerns that do come up. So we're going to talk about that just so you kind of know going ahead what those are. So the first thing is like I said, it is a tier system. So if you are someone who really wants to ride all those top tier rides, well, you're going to have to come up with a way so you can do that. And like I said, I'm going to talk about it at the end of the video. But basically all those popular rides, all the coaster rides, those are all tier 1. And you only get one of them. But like I said, it was the same for fast passes, which everyone wanted back, right? And of course, everything is per availability. So we have no idea what's going to be available on that park day, right? So when we select our first 3 passes, but then we can use a pass and get another one, I'll talk about it. It's all going to be per availability. We have no idea what's going to be available in the moment on those park days. And sadly, per fast passes, when this happened, all that was really left, come middle of the day, was like Dumbo and Small World. All the good popular rides and all the good times were gone instantly, and everyone else just kind of got what was left over. Of course, it wasn't a big deal because it was free, it was included, and no one really whined. But no, going forward, if you're paying the price for Multipass, you know you're getting at least 3 rides. That's a guarantee. You get to pre-select those 3 rides and you get to ride them, assuming you can, pick the right times that work for you. So at least we're guaranteed those 3 rides. With Genie Plus, we weren't guaranteed anything. And sadly for my international guests, it has been confirmed. I personally called Disney and asked this question on your behalf because there's been a lot of little, birdies talking about this. Sadly, this is true. Non-US guests will have to wait until you're physically on US soil before you can do your pre-purchasing and pre-selecting, whether that's on day 3, day 2, day 1 before your trip, or the day of your trip, unfortunately. The reason for this is because Disney said you get to do this on the app, and not all apps work internationally. This isn't Disney doing this on purpose. It's because it's an app-based situation, and our US apps don't always work in other locations. However, I don't know if Disney is gonna do a work behind on this, because as you guys know, the My Disney Experience app is also a website. Like, we can get dining on the app, we can get dining on the website. So if they somehow make this system also available on the My Disney Experience website, then maybe international guests can use a VPN or something like that to make it work for you. But for right now, yes, I'm sorry to say it is true. I confirmed it. International guests will have to wait until they're physically on US soil so they can use the app and go ahead and do the pre-purchase and the pre-selecting. Again, this is what we know today. Disney may find a workaround, someone else might find a workaround, but until July 24th happens, we're kind of in the dark regarding this particular situation. So I'm sorry for you guys. It's actually a bummer, really, and I know a lot of my fans are international, and I feel bad for you. This is unfortunate, but apparently it's because it's an app. It's not Disney purposely singling you out, right? So anyway, those are my concerns. Yes, early bird gets the worm. We don't know availability, and unfortunately, yes, international guests do have to wait until they're physically here. So maybe, I don't know if you can fly in a couple of days early and stay at an off-property resort and kind of, I don't know. Good luck. That's all I can say. Until we know more, that's all we got. Anyway, so of course you're thinking, okay, Nina, I got all the info. How is this gonna work? Like, what am I doing? Like, what is going on? So yes, we're gonna talk about that. So now that you have the basic info, let's move forward, right? So it's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, AKA Mickey time, and it's either 7 days or 3 days before your trip. Resort guest, non-resort guest, depending, right? You're gonna go to the app on your phone. You're gonna open up the My Disney Experience app. Right on the home screen, you're gonna scroll down to Lightning Lane Multipass, Lightning Lane Single Pass. And you're gonna click it and you're gonna follow the prompts. Again, you get to pre-purchase and pre-select up to 3 rides for each day that you choose to purchase the Multipass for. Disney is saying you're gonna be able to purchase and pre-select all in one transaction. So you're gonna be able to purchase, pre-select, and do Multipass and Single Pass all together, one transaction, all on the app, 7 a.m. And remember, all guests on your reservation have to get the same ride and the same ride time. And once you're done doing all your pre-purchasing and pre-selecting, you go back into the system and you modify or cancel per needed so you can rearrange whether mom and kid are doing something different than dad and kid or whatever your situation is. But to start out, if you're selecting Tiana's Bayou Adventure, all 4 of you or whoever your party is, all of you are doing Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and then you can adjust as needed. And then once it's done, you just sit back, relax, and you're done until your physical park day. Of course, you can always check the app and modify. You never know if better times or better rides become available because we don't really know if Disney is filtering more times into the system or not. But essentially 7 a.m., 7 or 3 days before your trip, you're gonna bustle through and have a game plan and do all the things and select and purchase and then be done with it and wait until your physical park day to enjoy. And remember, this is after you should have made your dining reservations because that happens at 60 days. So you should already know in what area you're gonna be at what time you're eating, because that was a big problem with Genie Plus. Oftentimes the next available time was, well, you were eating at that time. You already got dining reservations, and so it became tricky. So this you can prearrange already with your dining times and reservations and everything you got ahead. But, okay, so 3 days in advance, we've purchased, we've selected, we've done the things, we put our phone down. And now it's park day. How is this gonna work once we're in the park? Well, we've already selected 3 rides. We've got 3 rides and 3 ride times. Now this is the PERK with the new Lightning Lane Multipass. Are you ready? So we're in the park. We got our 3 rides and our 3 times. You ready for this? Once we ride one, we get another one. Once we ride one, we get another one. Once we ride one, we get another one. You get to keep doing that per availability. So as long as you've pre-selected the top 3 rides you want to do for that day, as soon as you ride one, you get another one. And then you ride a different one and you get another one. You get to keep doing that again per availability. There are no tricks, no stacking techniques, nothing needed. You start with 3 and you keep riding and using, riding and using. Of course, you don't get another pass unless you use a pass. So if you ride on something like Tiki Room, which you never got a pass for, you don't then get a pass. You have to use a pass to then get another pass. Does that make sense? So you start out with 3. You're guaranteed 3. Once you ride one, you get to select another one. Now, I did say earlier, this 100% works with park hoppers. So for those of you who have park hoppers added to your ticket, this is how it's going to work for you. When you pre-purchase and you pre-select, you do have to select your 3 rides for the same park. Once you use that first pass, the next pass you get can be for a different park. Do you follow? So let's say you're going to Magic Kingdom. You're going to start with 3 rides at Magic Kingdom. Once you ride one ride, I don't know, Small World, the next pass can be for Epcot or Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, wherever you're hopping to. So for hoppers, you do have to know where you're going to start, which park you're going to start at. You select your 3 rides per that park. Once you use one, you can then start selecting for your hopping park. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And also for those of you who are trying to cheat the system, Disney says you have to ride to get another pass. They also said, or when that time passes by. So if you get a ride you do not care about for 9 a.m. because you're just trying to get a pass for Epcot, then you pick something you don't care about for 9 a.m., you let it fall off the table, you never rode it, and then you can select your pass for the other park. So there is kind of a workaround there, but you do have to start at the same park before you can go to the other park in terms of getting your passes. Hopefully this makes sense. So to start over, you start the day with 3 straws. You use one, you get another one. You use one, you get another one. So we don't really know how many rides in one day someone can actually do until this rolls out. But note that it is gonna be per ability. So you started with 3 great rides, you used one. This ride, it could end up just being Dumbo. We don't know yet, but also know that just like Genie Plus, there's no double dipping. So if you get a pass for Haunted Mansion and you ride Haunted Mansion, you can't get another pass for Haunted Mansion. You can only get passes for each ride one time. And I mentioned a Lightning Lane single pass. Now this single pass system is no different. It is the exact same as individual Lightning Lane is today, right? So when you go into the app the morning, 7 days or 3 days, whatever day it is, and you go in to get your multi-passes, right? You can also select your single pass, up to 1 to 2 per day. So one could be Tron, one could be Seven Dwarf Mine Train. If you're hopping, one could be Tron, one could be Guardians of the Galaxy, it doesn't matter. So the system hasn't changed. Individual Lightning Lane is now Lightning Lane single pass. So what does this mean? At 7 a.m., when you've pre-purchased and pre-selected and all of that stuff has happened, you got 3 multi-passes, right? And then you can get up to 2 single passes. So that means at 7 a.m., you could potentially have up to 5 rides already in your piggy bank that you've pre-selected and pre-purchased, and you have all ready to enjoy on your park day. But I'm not done. Virtual queues are still gonna exist. So your pre-purchase and your pre-select, you have 5 already, 5 rides in your, up to 5 rides already in your piggy bank. And then the morning of your park day, you could actually get a virtual queue, which gives you 6 rides to have in your piggy bank that morning. And then of course, once you ride this virtual queue, you can get another one at 1 p.m. So if we start the day with Tiana's Bayou Adventure and we were lucky enough to ride her early in the day, we could then try to get a virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy, assuming we are hopping. But yes, you can technically start the day with up to 5 rides already in your piggy bank. And then once 7 a.m. hits, if you're interested in the virtual queue, 6 rides that we can already have pre-selected, pre-sorted out, all the things, right? Just note that when it comes to virtual queues, Disney is saying you can only have 1 at a time. You can have 2 in a given day, but you have to get the one at 7, ride it, before you can then get the one at 1 o'clock. So you can have 2, you just can't have them in your piggy bank at the same time. You get one, ride it, and then you can try to get the second one. So hopefully you guys are with me. Now I promised that I have thought long and hard about this new system. And of course, we're trying to figure out how to use it to our advantage. And until the ride system actually rolls out and Disney adjusts the kinks and the changes and all the things they need to wiggle out, this is what I am thinking. This is my hack. This is my workaround. Are you ready for this? When you do your pre-purchase and pre-select, you only get 1 ride from tier 1. But most people want multiple rides from tier 1. I don't know about you, but I want to ride Tiana's Big Thunder, Jungle Cruise, and Peter Pan. I want to ride them all. But how is that possible when you can only pre-select 1? Well, this is my thought. You pre-select your 1 from tier 1 and your 2 from tier 2. But on Park Day, when you go to ride the rides, you get a new pass as soon as you ride one, right? We talked about it. Let's say one of these passes, it doesn't matter which one, is at 9 a.m. You ride it, you get another one. What if that other one is also from Tier 1? Yes? So if we started with one from Tier 1 and then 2 other rides, we rode, I don't know, Small World, and then we picked up another one. So if we have Tiana, we have 2 rides, we rode, say, Small World, now we can pick up Big Thunder. Then we rode Tiana's, and now I get to pick up Jungle Cruise. Again, per availability. So my thought is, if we make sure one of our selections is first thing in the morning, we ride it, we can get another one that is also Tier 1. And maybe our second one is like 10 o'clock. We quickly ride it, and we get another one from Tier 1. So I'm thinking the key here to get multiple rides on Tier 1 is to have some of your passes, doesn't have to be all of your passes, having some of your passes being first thing in the morning, because you use it, then you can get another one, again, per availability. But this is my workaround. This is the way I'm thinking, because most of us don't want to ride just Frozen. We want to ride Frozen and Remy and Soarin'. So this is kind of my workaround to possibly be able to skip the line for multiple rides in the Tier 1 category. Hopefully this makes sense. This is my thought as of right now. Again, once July 24th happens and this all gets rolled out and we all start using it, I will create more videos, more tips and tricks and all the things. But this is my explanation video as of right now. And I promised Disneyland, you want to know about your new system? Yep, you didn't get one. All you got was a name change. So Genie Plus just changed their name to Lightning Lane Multipass. Your individual Lightning Lane, just change the name to Lightning Lane Single Pass. It is the exact same system. You do not get the pre-purchase like we do, the 7 and 3 days. You don't get the pre-select like we do. You get what your system is, which is you can add yours to your package, and then you get your rides once you go through the turnstile. So again, like I said, this video was Disney World only. So what are the key points? We get to pre-purchase and pre-select at 7 a.m. 3 rides up to day 7 before our trip or day 3, depending on where you're staying. Early bird most definitely gets the worm in this case, so you definitely want to do it as soon as you can. Prices are unknown, but I expect the same sort of price or more. And yes, the perk is for resort guests. Again, the early bird gets the worm. We don't know about availability. You can purchase for your whole trip up to 14 days. You don't have to purchase all the days. You can skip a few days because maybe you're going to the pool or you're not really hanging out at the park all day. All depends on what your game plan is. And of course, all guests have to get the same rides and the same ride times. You can then modify as needed. And of course, no matter what pass you purchase, multi-pass or single pass, you're going through the same line, which is the Lightning Lane. And yes, you need to get the app, learn it, love it, know it way before your trip. This is what's gonna save your day, is knowing the app. So hopefully this made sense, guys. This was a lot of information. I have 4 pages of information I just told you about. Fast passes, gone. Genie Plus, gone. Multi-pass is in. Prepay, pre-select, have a game plan, and do the best you can. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. More multi-pass videos to come as promised, but let me know what you thought about this video. Hopefully it made sense. Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications. Like this video, pretty please, and share. Anyone headed to Disney World after July 24th is gonna need this video, because a lot of people may not be aware that Genie Plus is changing or understand the system, the pre-select, the tiers, the fact that everyone has to get the exact same thing, but that you can modify all the things. They might not know about my trick, my workaround, so you can possibly get more than one ride for Tier 1. So like I said, guys, share this video, share my content as much as possible, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Mahalo for watching. Nina, out.